So I'm going to read out a whole heap of stuff here for you. And these are all wounds. These are all ways of being and doing when it comes to attachment. And I want you to just listen to the ones that resonate. If you think, no, I don't do that, then don't worry about it. If you hear something you're like, oh my God, I do that, I do that really big, then please pay attention to it. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read them out and you can tell me 0 to 10 how much it resonates with you. So if I say something and you're like, I absolutely 150% do that, you'd give that a 10 out of 10. If I say something to you and you're like, I do that sometimes, it might be 5 out of 10. Or I've never done it before, but I'm doing it now, you might get a 2 or 3 out of 10. Okay, so hopefully you're all on board. Give me a little thumbs up if you're on board, or a little love heart if you're on board with what I'm going to do. And we're going to get started. So I'm going to read a bunch of things out to you, wounds, and you're going to just work out if these wounds apply to you or not. No judgment, lots of courage, lots of curiosity. So let's begin. Are you the sort of person who ignores problems or pretends they don't exist? You know, maybe you have this like really uncomfortable feeling in your tummy that your partner's having an affair, but you kind of tell yourself, no, they've said they're not, so they mustn't be. Or maybe you're the sort of person who downplays things, refusing to accept the severity of it. You know, telling yourself, well, other people go through worse than this, or other people, you know, have to go through this and it's okay. So you downplay things. Maybe you lie to yourself, you know, believing falsehoods because it's better to do that than face reality. You know, hopefully they'll come back. You know, maybe they'll come back. I'm not going to let go of the hope, though. So believing falsehoods that, you know, can really move you away from reality and dealing with reality, which we know is important, right? It's important. Or maybe this. And if you get a 0, don't worry about putting anything in. It's only if it hits a mark for you that I want you to kind of put in a number, or you can write the thing, or you can say you struggle with it, or whatever you choose. But I want you to think about it for yourself. So if it's a 0 for you, don't write anything in, because then you don't need to worry about it. You just need to worry about the ones that hit the mark. What about this one? Maybe you judge the way you think, the things you say, or the things you do, and you feel like you don't measure up in life generally. Maybe you feel embarrassed or uncomfortable when people say positive things to you, when they give you recognition or they praise you or they give you a gift. It makes you kind of squirm a bit. Maybe you don't tell people what your needs are. Maybe you don't have the first clue what your bloody needs are. Maybe you seek validation from other people. You know, if they love me, I'm good enough. If they say I did a good job, then I'm good enough. And you trust them more than you trust yourself when it comes to your value and your worth. Maybe, just maybe, you really feel an inner compulsion to solve other people's problems. You know, everybody tells you their problems. You've got an answer for everybody. You're the one who everybody comes to. Maybe you do that. Maybe, just maybe, you anticipate and meet other people's needs, but question why nobody comes to help you out. You know, how come I help everybody, but nobody ever shows up for me? Maybe you're drawn into relationships with people who have a lot of issues. You know, maybe they can't manage their money. Maybe they're addicted to something. Maybe they're just, you know, they don't work, or they just always need some kind of help. And you're just the person to give them that help. And you get into relationships where you're rescuing them all the time. All right, what about these? Maybe you struggle with people being kind to you or nice to you. Maybe you have a belief about yourself that you're not good enough, not worthy enough, not smart enough, not funny enough, not wealthy enough. Maybe you're scared to death of making mistakes. Maybe you struggle to make a decision because you're scared it'll be the wrong one. So you're riddled with a lot of self-doubt. Okay, what about these? Maybe you don't actually assess how good a relationship or situation is for you. And you don't assess whether this is actually for your highest good and it's going to be helpful and beneficial for you. Maybe in relationships, you completely lose focus of your own life, your own identity in some cases, and you get so deeply romantically involved with somebody that the rest of your world fades and vanishes. Maybe you are in a constant state of fear about abandonment and rejection, and you stay in relationships that are not good for you, in fact, that are really detrimental to your happiness and your health and your well-being. What about these? And many of you will have these, I do not doubt. Maybe, initially you set limits of unacceptable behavior with people, but gradually you compromise all of the boundaries that you set. I've told this person this is how I think and feel, and I want them to stick to the boundary, and they say, yeah, nah, not doing that. And you don't understand why. They're just not sticking to the boundary, so you just change the boundary for them. Maybe you allow others to hurt you without standing up for yourself and saying, actually, no, people don't get to treat me like that. That's unacceptable behavior to me, and I won't allow anyone to treat me like that. Or maybe you experience a lack of trust in yourself. The way you think, the way you feel, the way you behave, the way others are around you. Maybe you don't trust anybody. All of those are wounds. All of those have significant impacts in our day-to-day life. They impact our relationships with ourselves, with other people, with partners, with our children, with our family and friends, with our colleagues, even with strangers. But the closer to you psychologically and emotionally, the more you care about them, the more you love them, the more it's going to hurt if you have those issues that I just mentioned. So, those are part of what I've talked about a bit at the beginning, which is attachment, right? A style of connecting with people, a way of being that our parents taught us when we were first born. In the first couple of years of our life, we learned a way of getting our needs met by these primary people in our lives. We learned a way of connecting. Many of us learned really, unhealthy ways of connecting because, you don't get a choice. And parents do the best job they can do, but they also come with their own baggage and their parents' baggage and their grandparents' baggage and their cultural baggage. So people do the best they can do, but we come with stuff. So generally speaking, when we're on our own, away from everybody in the world, we're generally quite securely attached. When nobody is connected to us and we're just dealing with our shit generally, we're fairly securely attached. So when you did the quiz, you knew the right answers. You were like, that is the right answer, but that's not what I do. So we know this is when people say, I know I should do it, but I don't. I know I shouldn't contact them, or I know I should go no contact, or I know I should block them, but I don't. So we know what we need to do, but because of our attachment style and wounds, we struggle to do it.